Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. The holidays are already here. How can you ensure that your child studies effectively over the holiday? To start with, I tell you it is very important for your child to go through the books over the holiday. Because most of the time when they come back, if they don't go through their books, they usually have forgotten everything, even if it's 2 weeks. And if they've gone for a month or 2 months, especially over the December break, it's usually chaotic because they know nothing. They celebrated the Christmas and the New Year and they forgot about school. So it's important for you as the parent to help your child get the best in the education by ensuring that they study effectively over the holiday. I know it might be difficult and you might think that this is the teacher's work. It's a joint effort. It's the teacher's effort, it's the parents' effort, the school, and all the other stakeholders that are involved to help that child. So don't blame your child if they don't perform well because they lose a lot of what they've studied over the holiday. And most of the tuitions that you enroll them to, they don't go there to study. Most of them, they go there to start relationships and to learn bad behavior. Sorry to say so, because you don't go there to know what they are doing. You ask them, what did you do? And then you trust them. Why can't you one day after you pay for that tuition, you just even get permission from works? Get permission from your job. This is your child's life. Go to that tuition, spend the day with them, know what they're doing. Go as an observer. Even go without them knowing, just to see what they're doing over the recess, just to check what your child is doing even after their tuition. Some of them are very productive, but others are not. That's why I tell you, before you enroll your child to that tuition or to that, you pay that teacher an extra for the holiday tuition, do your research very well. Because most of the time you pay and then you don't get what you wanted. Your child doesn't improve in that particular subject. After schools have closed, sit down with your child. Discuss their results. If they don't have results, discuss about the importance of education. Just ask them to write down, why are you in school? What is the importance of you passing in your studies? Ask them. Ask them to write on their own. Don't bombard them by telling them the importance. They already know. This is a person who's going to school. They already know the importance of school. Ask them so that they can write on their own, so that they know why they're in school. Ensure you tell them that you're there to support them in their education. But first, they should not only talk about why they're in school or the benefit of being in school. The most important reason why they're in school, we don't go to school just to study. We go to school so that we can be able to learn new things. We learn new, better way of doing things. The difference between a student who gets an E and a student who gets an A, it's because this student who gets an A is able to read throughout the term and throughout the holiday without supervision on their own. They have the intrinsic motivation. They can read on their own and they can be able to easily recall what they've learned. So their brain automatically can be able to grasp very complicated material and digest it easily because it's already used. But this student is lazy. It's basic. The term is laziness. They don't want to study. They want the easy things. They want to make noise in class. They want to be sleeping during preps. They just want to, actually even in class, they are not listening to the teacher. They are doing whatever they want. That's why now this A student is told to do medicine, because he can be able to grasp complicated material and digest it and remember it effectively, because he or she was able to study the content in school and remember very easily. So when he goes for medicine, he's going to study it, remember it, and also remit it. Help, that is, apply it. Apply it in the daily life by treating what? The patient. Because throughout his studies is going to be studying all through. But if you take as a student to study medicine, he won't be able, because he likes easy things. He cannot even be able to grasp what the material. He doesn't have the intrinsic motivation. So make sure you even read from the internet. Just do your research how to build intrinsic motivation from your child. Let them tell you why they want to study. What do they want in future? Let it be a motivator, because if they know what they want, they will be able to sit down and study. So after you make them sit down and understand why they have to study over the holiday, set aside a place at home where they'll be studying. You can even buy them a table and a chair, or if it's at the dining table, make sure if they're studying, they are facing away from the television. You can just set aside a corner where it is very silent. Sometimes even sit down with them as they are reading to make sure they are studying, because some of them can be there reading and their phones are on their laps, or they are chatting. Most of them tell us, you might think they are there studying, but they are chatting on phone. They might be even having a phone that you don't know about. These young students will surprise you. They think they are always brighter than you. So make sure you tell your child the importance of them studying, and make sure they understand, and make sure it comes from them. Because if they don't understand, immediately you leave to work, they won't study. So you have this designated place where they study. Number 2, make a schedule with them. When will you be doing your studies? Some of them usually have chores at home. They're supposed to do 1, 2, 3. When can they study? In the morning is very good, because in the morning you can wake them up and you supervise them before you go to work. Some of them can opt to study in the morning, and at 4 they wake up, because most of the schools wake up at 4 a.m. You can wake them at 4 a.m. because you're there, and you're going to supervise as they're studying for like 2 hours before you leave for work, which is very important. So that means that they are going to sleep early. You ensure they are sleeping. You tell them, if you go to bed and you chat, when I wake you up, you will not have enough sleep. Or if you go and watch a series, in the morning you won't understand anything. So this time in the morning at 4 a.m. is very effective, because you're there. You can be able to look at what they're doing. You can take their phone off them. You can ensure that they're not on any screen. So after you make that schedule, it can be that morning for them, or in the evening when you're there, or during the day when you're not even there. So during the day when you're not there, you can give them work. How do you give this work? You can buy them a revision book, or you tell them to borrow a revision book from school or from other students. And if there is a past paper there, make sure they write the question and the answer. Don't say this child is going to get tired. No, they only get tired after they do a lot of work. They are very energetic. So tell them to write the question and the answers. Even if, let's say, you give them that work from that revision book and it has answers at the back, don't get discouraged. Even if they look at the answers, as they're looking, they're still doing what? Studying. Give them a lot of work. As you leave from work in the morning, make sure you tell them to write like 20 pages. They'll ensure they read it. If you give them less work, trust me, they will do it very fast and write a bad handwriting, and when you come they show you. Or they are going to go where they wanted to go, and then they arrive an hour before you come, and then they write everything very fast and they show you. So what are you going to check when you come? You tell them, after you write every question and the answer, you skip a line. Tell them that. Number 2, you give them a lot of work, like 20 pages. If it's a composition or an issue, give them 3 compositions. Every composition should not be less than 2.5 pages. They will write all of them. They have a lot of content that you're going to look at that revision book. The pages, not less than 20, because the work they do daily in school is more than the 20 pages. So they are going to skip a line after every question. And then when you come in the evening, even if you are there at the sitting room, you tell them that let me check the work. Just go through looking at their word and their handwriting. The handwriting is very important. The handwriting tells you whether they wrote very fast or they were keen with it. Tells you whether they sat down or they just went and watched TV the whole day and then came and wrote in the last 3 hours. Be very keen with them. Be consistent. Be giving work every day and checking. Even you don't have to check the answers. You'll tell them mark for yourselves before you go to sleep, and then I sign that you've indicated. That is my work to you. Every day if you do that with a revision book, or you can open 20 pages of a textbook and you tell them summarize this work in a subject whereby they are weak. As they are doing the summary, no matter how they summarize, they've already become conversant with the material. Just go through and check whether they've summarized. Tell them. Now, when you come again, you tell them to do a summary of that work they've already summarized. That's how you do it. And be consistent. If every day they study, you're leaving work, make sure it takes less than 5 minutes for you to check that work. This is your child. You want a bright future for them. So if you leave a lot of work, you're going to check it. It won't take 10 minutes. It's just 5 minutes. It's very easy. In one of my next videos, I'm going to show you how you check the work and how you give with an example. With that, now your child will know you're interested with what they're doing. And then you ask them, why did you not finish the work? If they tell you it was a lot of work on Saturday when you are not at work, let them sit down when you're there. Let them write when you're looking at them. You will be there, you reading a book, maybe a Christian book, or you will be there reading something or writing your receipts. And then you give them the same amount of work, and then you sit down with them. If you don't sacrifice yourself like this, you won't get the results that you want. This is what student parents do, especially for those parents which their learners are not in a private school. You become the teacher now. So if you sit down with them on Sunday or on that Saturday, you will see how they're writing. You will see whether they lied to you or they were correct to you. And you be consistent. It takes 5 minutes to check this work. You were in school. Actually, you know how you do your revision. You can help your child. Be positive about it. Also, during the holidays, encourage your child to read books he or she has interest in, to borrow in the neighboring library, or you buy these books. Some of them cost 200. In the second-hand books, you can get one. Some of them are online for free. You can send them for free. I wish I know you, because I could have sent some of them to you for free on how to study, better studying habits, on maybe autobiographies of some of the most productive people or good role models. You have them in your phone. It's only because you don't Google on that side. They are there for free. They are there on YouTube for free. Make sure they listen to those books, the audiobooks, and then they make a summary. And to ensure that, remember that they can read the summary, they are also summarized content about the same books, to make sure that they don't just write a summary of the main content. As they're reading that specific book, also read, so that the notes that they make, you can tell them you didn't read the book, you read a summary. So sacrifice yourself as the parent and be encouraged. Blessings, happy holidays.